pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Dan Pillow,
Here.
Ann Pillow,
Here.
Linda Barton. Here. Pam Jackson.
Here. Council, before we begin anything today, I would just like to bring up something real quick here. Jennifer Anderson is interested in Lisa's spot, so I would like to appoint her to that spot with your permission.
I just have one question.
Sure.
I know she's relative of some sort. Can we know what, so we don't violate anything?
An in-law.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah, when we was going over the laws and contracts, we found section 15.14, appointment of relatives, and we wasn't sure
We just want to make sure.
which one, because that's in the laws about who can be appointed. You can run for election and be a relative, but to be appointed
Yeah,
in that section, we didn't know.
that's why. That's all. We just don't want
Yeah.
to. We keep
Avoid
violating.
any other
Keep
problems.
violating rules. So is it? It's an in-laws.
Not a blood relative.
So is it?
There is some in-laws listed on here, but I don't, if
I
she's
need a
just,
cousin-in-law, not even like. Cousin by
Yeah.
marriage? By marriage.
okay. Yeah, because it says first cousins.
No, she's not a first
Yeah.
cousin.
So that should. I just knew there was several. I didn't know what. That's
Yeah.
all.
We were just wondering.
Hey, it's one question.
What do you need to do?
Just a motion.
Okay, yeah. I make a motion that Jennifer fill the seat of Lisa Stafford.
I'll second. Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Ann. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Just repeat that. Raise your right hand and repeat after
I
me.
don't have a packet for it.
I, Jennifer Anderson,
Jennifer Andreson,
duly solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution and laws
to uphold the Constitution and laws
of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
and the ordinances and resolutions
the ordinances and resolutions
of the Village of Addyston, Ohio,
of the Village of Addyston, Ohio,
and to faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of council
of the office of council
of the Village of Addyston,
of the Village of Addyston.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Welcome aboard.
Well, thank you.
Take your seat.
I was on 6.
I know, I was going to say, just one
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Specifically for that, I just keep it.
We'll just, no matter
I just kind of keep this here in case.
Why, which one?
Okay, we'll go ahead forward with the clerk's report.
Get Jennifer on. You don't want to do that again?
Apologize, I don't have stuff to give you, Jennifer. You're fine. You received the council minutes from the December 5th meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the December 5th, 2021 minutes.
Oh, gosh.
There's a motion for the minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Linda Martin. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer. Yay. You can
What
vote.
did you too?
Oh.
Sorry.
You can abstain if
Linda
you want
Martin.
to.
Yay.
Okay, I wouldn't
Pam,
abstain.
yeah. Yeah, you don't have to vote, you can abstain.
Okay,
if
because
you
I don't
want.
even know what I'm saying yes to.
Okay. Okay, then you have the minutes of December the 14th. This was for the emergency council meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from December the 14th, 2021.
Second.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Dan Pillow. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow.
Yay.
Jennifer, do you want me just to skip over you for now? So-
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of read over it real
okay.
fast.
Should have to abstain.
Oh, abstain.
Abstain.
Okay. All right. Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yeah.
You received pay ordinance 12D. This was for biweekly payroll that was paid on December the 17th. Totals dispersed, general fund was $8,503.01. From the street construction maintenance repair fund, $3,830.36. From the water fund, $57.12, for a combined total of $12,390.49.
Which one is that again, Margaret? I'm a little
That's all right.
behind. With,
D.
well, D, okay.
D, it should be page 1.
Mhm.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2021-12D.
I'll second it.
Motion by Ann, second by Pam. Are there any discussions? No discussion, we'll vote.
I
Dan,
had
oh,
something-
wait, hold
Just a
on.
minute, I thought, I can't get this, come on, I'll look at hers real quick. It's up there, click on this one. It's on this one. It's not on this one. No, go ahead, it's not on this one. Oh, yes, it was, I'm sorry. Number 10, I'm questioning like the overtime. I thought we did not have any more overtime. And there's 8 hours of overtime for shift coverage. I thought that we'd said months back that there wasn't going to be any overtime, that we'd only use it in an emergency. And like if a shift wasn't covered, that we would just leave shift open like we did in the past.
Did we have that, Pam, help me out, in a ordinance or a vote? Did we vote against that? That's where we run into problems. If we can't go back and find a piece of paper that said, this is what we want. Do we have that?
I think it was. I just didn't know to bring it down. Steve Dalton's the one that put it together. I do believe it was in an ordinance form at that time.
Yeah, because I'm hearing, we're saying shift coverage, so I know
So
there's
is
sometimes.
council's wish to leave the village uncovered with police for a shift? I mean, is that your wish? Because to me, that would be more of an emergency to cover the shift. So what you're saying is you want to leave the village uncovered?
Well, in the past, we used.
If that's the
the county
case,
or
we'll leave it
whatever.
uncovered.
We only used the county in instances where we absolutely
Have to.
couldn't find anybody. We've generally had our officers cover all those shifts, but if there is an ordinance in place, and that's what council has desired, then I think that's probably what you should do. But in my own opinion, we need to have our officers on the street as much as possible. But if it's a law, we won't, I mean, we'll have to discuss it a
Yeah.
different way if it's a law.
I'm just wondering, isn't there anyone else that could cover that it wouldn't be overtime? It's like other employees.
Oh,
That's
and Don would have to
if you
tell us about
exhausted
that
all the
because
benefit, all
he's
the
the
other
guy.
employees, that's different.
Every time there is a shift open, myself and the sergeant both put messages out. We are having the same problem here that every employer out there is having. All of our other employees are full-time. This is their part-time job. They're getting mandatory overtime at their full-time jobs, and they're not gonna be able to quit or call off their full-time job to work part-time here.
Don, are they fulfilling their obligation that they
Everyone
signed
is
up for?
sitting their days per month here, yes. And the problem with Hamilton County covering, they agreed to do it with the prior sheriff when Jim Neal was in, when we were having the problems when Dorian first left here. To get them to cover now, they're probably going to want the village to sign a contract to cover shifts. They most likely will not do it for free because that would be abusing
That
the
sounds like a good
mutual aid.
idea.
I guess we should investigate that.
Yeah, we need to know if that ordinance is in place or not, or if there is a charge for them to cover the village. Because, you know, I know I don't want to get to another subject off of this, but we've got a resignation of an officer, so it's only gonna most likely get worse. So we need to know what we're gonna do. So shift coverage could be a problem, even more
I've
so.
got two that we are currently in backgrounds with right now.
That's all, I'm just questioning that. I mean, I guess we need to look into that ordinance, because if there is one, we need to authorize this overtime,
Yeah, absolutely.
if it in fact has to be.
So then what you're saying is covering a shift is not an emergency?
No, well,
Yes or no?
Yeah, it depends on if there's other people. If there's no one else that can cover it, no problem. We have all part-time people. I can't believe we don't have anybody else that can step up to the plate when we get in this situation to help us.
It is frustrating, I agree.
Yeah, that's the frustrating part. We hire people, I don't know what we're saying to them when we hire them, that, you know, we should be hiring them for specific things for the coverage. If that person's not available, you know they're not available if they got a job that they can't get away from. You know, the people that have the day jobs or whatever, different shifts we're trying to cover. We should always have somebody to cover our first shift, second shift, third shift. We should have a backup, if at all possible, on every shift.
And I've had 2 applicants in 7 months. I just told Dan before the meeting, the Police Academy of Great Oaks just graduated 7 and they were all sponsored through from other agencies. There's nobody out there who wants to do this job. Trust me, I don't want to be working overtime. I got a lot of other things I could be doing. And I practically begged them on this phone. I can show you the messages I send out. I need somebody to pick this up. I need somebody to pick this up. But they hit their 4 days a month. Unless council wants to change this to an 8-day-a-month commitment, there's not a whole lot I can do.
Yeah, I don't think we would, we can't get them for 4 days. I can't imagine why we could get them for 8. You know, if they don't want an emergency situation covered.
I just understand from personal experience with working in like a management side of things. If you can't get anybody to step up, you have to be the one to do it, because if you can't make them do it. And if we can't go without being patrolled, I mean, I don't understand how, especially in this day and age with how everything is, you can't get anyone to work anyways. So if they're not scheduled, if it's not their schedule, they're not, most people, unless you have some kind of incentive, they're not gonna be willing, like, okay, I'll just jump in on, I'll do that for you. It's very rare in this time frame for people to do that. I mean, did you, when you was management at B&B, or?
We had backup. We had people that's what they were for. And if everybody, there was occasionally a time, then I don't care, I've had 3 hours to drive to one location, I had to do it. But I would shift employees to do it, so I didn't have to do it. Because it didn't make any sense to put me as management position, we're gonna wanna have 4 extra hours to drive, to take off another day, it's just gonna be another hardship.
So would we need to find another person as a backup, only as a backup, not as a actual shift employee? Is that what we need? That would only do, is that something
I
that's
think he's saying
possible?
that he doesn't even have enough officers sometimes to fill the shifts that we have.
There have been several days that I have done changes with guys, got them to work a day, and then I've worked another day, and just got them to do this so we could cover a shift. Right now, there's just not the applicants or the police officers. We're not the only ones hurting. Elmwood Place is down to 4 police officers. It's just not a good time to try to be hiring cops. Like I said, I've got 2 in their background right now, and we're rushing them through as fast as we can. But there's certain hurdles I gotta cross. I gotta do polygraphs, I gotta do psychs.
Yeah, it's just if we have an ordinance against it, we need to address that. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
I have absolutely no problem if we have an ordinance, and so we can discuss what the ordinance says and how we as a council give Don or the mayor directives as to what the council wants them to do. Obviously, I think we all know that this is a tough time to hire policemen. Everybody's paying, at least half again what we're paying, and that also makes it difficult to keep people here. So every time this guy over here is paying $23 and we're paying $17, he's gonna go where he can get 23 bucks.
We know that.
But I would suggest that, Pam, unless you have a solution for this, that you brought it up, I would suggest that the police committee meet. I don't know who the rest, I'm the only one left on the.
Maybe not.
Linda, okay.
I don't know what,
I suggest that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Lisa's
We'll have to
seats
see
were.
We'll have to
Yeah,
look and
we'll
see.
pull that out and
I've
show
got
it to
them,
you.
I'll tell you.
You might have another
So,
person now.
that we meet and do a thorough discussion on this situation and try to bring a solution back to
Yeah, I'll
council,
get a hold
Right.
if that's agreeable.
Yeah, but in the meantime, yeah, he worked it, he should be.
Oh,
I'm just
absolutely.
questioning that, if we have that, here we go, we're gonna get against our rules again. We've got the auditors looking at everything we do, here's one more thing. You got a rule that says you don't do it, and here it is. It's
Yeah,
just-
that makes
true.
They're dinging us for everything what we do.
Well, I do agree, however, it did state though, but in emergency, only in emergency cases. So that's why I had to question, what constitutes the emergency?
Like they've done in the past, staying over for accidents or things that's out of their control, really. But if it's someone not showing up for work, that's an emergency. You can't sometimes get somebody at the last minute, but if it's pre-scheduled, then,
Problem with that, again, when it goes back to the sheriff's office, the mutual aid agreement is not there to cover shifts. The mutual aid agreement is there for if I'm on arrest and I have to take somebody to jail and I need the village covered. If I have to be like in this meeting, I can request mutual aid. When you go to requesting undercover shifts that we can't fill, it gets into like it was when Jim Neal was sheriff and he came in here and he told Mayor Mear the same thing he told me. I'm gonna give you this many days to get your house in order. I'll provide you coverage for this. But after that, we gotta start talking money.
right.
And I have no idea how approachable this new sheriff is because her 100% goal is nothing but that jail. I haven't even had a meeting with her yet. She was supposed to meet with every police chief in the county and she has yet to do so.
But, sometimes you can call someone that if they're getting off early, have them come in and adjust different shifts. Make
And
them shorter, longer. That's not an overtime status.
I attempt to do that every time there's an opening.
That's what I'm saying. If we've exhausted all avenues, then that's different, but,
I'm getting too old to work 16-hour days.
yeah, I mean,
And then
there's a
does-
way to adjust shifts.
And then when we find the ordinance, we need to find out on the ordinance how it's listed on what is considered an emergency, what is considered acceptable and what is not, right? Because that'll all be lined out,
That's
right?
what's on the ordinance.
It doesn't go into that depth on that ordinance, really.
Margaret, if you would you?
I made a
forward?
note of it
Okay.
to look for it.
All right, that's all I have.
Call for the vote.
Almost lost here.
Yeah.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer,
Yeah.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yeah.
And you have 12,
Yes, absolutely.
12E, 2021, and this is for monthly salaries dispersed from the general fund with $7,150.
I'll make a motion to accept 12E 2021.
Second.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Dan Pillow. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson.
Yes.
Is that right? Woo, movie star. Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Then you have 12F. This is for accounts payable from the general fund, $16,174.44.
I make a motion that we pay the bill.
Second.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Jennifer Anderson. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
you are to submit us a bill periodically. Well, I don't know what that period is.
I thought it was
Quarterly? Okay, not a problem. That is a quarterly bill, right?
That's not a quarterly.
Oh, okay.
You haven't gotten to that one
Thank
yet.
goodness.
Haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
I had to lay this in front of you tonight because I got it after I sent out my packet stuff. It should be in the mix
Should
of
be another
papers,
one.
Dan, I'm sorry. It's one item on F, or 12G by itself.
Okay.
So right now, we're on 12F, and this is for accounts payable.
Yeah. I made a motion. It was second.
Yeah, Jennifer, second. Ready for the call.
Okay, call for the vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson. Yes. Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Then you have 12G, and this was a late one because I received the invoice after I sent my packets out. This is for Mr. Kelly, this is for
Oh,
services
I'm sorry, I had the wrong one.
rendered from December 2020 to December 2021. I broke it down, and $20,243.75 out of the general, and out of the water it's $743.74, for a combined total of $20,987.49.
Make a motion that the bill be paid.
Second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Pam Jackson. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
I'm sorry, Jennifer.
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
A little bit out of batting order tonight here. Then you have in front of you the Addyston Mayor's Court. This is through December the 20th. It was laying at your stations when you came in tonight. Okay, to the village, $3,141.50. To the state Rotary Fund, or Revenue Fund, this is for indigent defense, support victims of crime, drug law enforcement fund, for $566.50. And for court costs for the indigent alcohol treatment fund, $19.50, for a total amount collected was $3,727.50.
I'll make a motion to accept the mayor's monthly reports to council.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Linda Martin. Are there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
And when you come in this evening, I have a monthly financial statement in front of you. This is for the month of November. The beginning starting balances of all funds for November 1st was $397,180.07. Revenue received was $92,626.13. There was a transfer of $15,000 to the water fund for a total funds and adjustments of $505,811.20, with expenditures of $117,394.39. The transfer out was the $1,500, that was for the water purpose. Fund balance, I'm sorry, 15,000. Did I say 1,500?
Yeah.
I meant 15,000. That was what we helped them with the truck. Ending balances is $373,416.81. And I've included for you the bank reconciliation from the UAN, a copy of 3 outstanding checks, a copy of the regular account, the savings account, and the sweep account. That balance matches the report.
That's something you want a motion for the next step.
Yes, it's got to be in the minutes.
Yep. Council, what's your pleasure with that?
I'll make a motion to accept the reports to council. Let me list them all. I'm just gonna say reports. Those are separate.
Oh, it's the monthly
Yeah.
financial statement from the clerk to council.
Kind of like the treasurer's report.
Well, that's
Sort of.
basically what it is, but all along they said I should have been doing it, so.
I'll second.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Linda Martin. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson, yay. Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Council, you received an email from Officer Charles Brown, who submitted his resignation notice of 2 weeks. According to our state auditors, when these things happen, they need to be accepted by council and in the minutes.
Council, what's your pleasure?
Make a motion that we accept the resignation of Officer Charles Brown.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Pam Jackson. Any discussion? I would like to first say though, I hate to see him go because he's a really good officer. Really upsetting, but that's what happens when they get really good jobs. Any call for the vote?
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Okay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
I put in front of you a copy of an update from the building department. In talking to Mr. Weber last week, I told him I was curious to know if there was a list of housings, because it was discussed at the prior council meeting. And this was, related to houses scheduled to be demolished or whatever through grants and that. Well, he put together a 2-page summary, and he sent it to the mayor, and he included it to me, and I'm sharing it with you so you have the same information that I received from him. Because I have people come and they'll say, I want to get on the list. I usually call Danny or give Danny an email, but I just thought that since we hadn't had anything from him, I would just share this with you. And it's for your information only.
Didn't they get that in an email as well?
Did they? They may have. I can send it to them in an email.
Yes, please.
And I think that's all I have.
Pass that down to Jennifer, would you? All right, thanks, Margaret. Let's see. Okay, so first off, I'm just gonna go ahead with whatever I've got because I don't have too terrible much. I did get a hold of Cindy Abrams for January 1st swearing in. She'll do it 11 a.m. So I don't know if you want to, I'll just gonna call the other two, I guess, and then did you want to mail that out or how?
I can send them something, and are we going to have a little reception
Yeah.
afterwards like we did last
Yeah,
time?
absolutely.
So 11 a.m.?
Yep. And that'll be January 1st. Okay, and my ODOT report. So, as far as dining goes, so I got back with them, they got back with me with all kinds of information here. We do not need their permission to make that a right turn only out of dining. And they did say since that goes out to 50, that they're responsible for the signage and installing it. So that way we don't, there's none of the signage that we want put up that we're gonna have to get or install. So they're going to do all the signage and install. Now, the other signing, however, let's see. Okay, so they did discuss the warning lights out here for the signal warning light. The location would need to meet certain criteria, crash history for failure to stop, which, you know, they are aware that it's kind of up there, so they were having somebody come out and they noticed that we're like 1,000 feet away, and they said it would be better to move it to the 300 to 400 feet where it should be. So they are gonna look into that and take care of those signal lights as well. The buckling on the road. So they did address the buckling on Route 50. They did say that they had met with the village just over a couple years ago to clarify that the village is responsible for pavement maintenance on the US 50, which, you know, we can't do that. So they said since it was done a few years ago, that it would be a while before we were able to get anything. To the next project, they did not have scheduled till 2029.
Well,
Yeah, that's pretty far out there.
yeah. Mayor, I spoke to the guy immediately when that started to happen, and he says, Dan, I know, we're gonna take care of it. That's the last conversation I had with them. So they.
Oh, is that what
changed
he's
their
talking about, maybe the meeting that they had, and it's like.
Well, I called them, yeah.
Yeah, we can't do that, we don't have that type of funding.
Right.
Not from the state highway.
No, they don't give us enough.
I mean, that
to
was an
do that.
apparent flaw in
It's
materials.
the job that they did.
And the work
Yeah.
that they did. That didn't have anything to do with normal maintenance.
No, that is definitely not normal maintenance was going on. So it was, they do have a team that's going out though. They did tell me they have the team that's going out to check, you know, in areas, because it's not just us, obviously, where this buckling and stuff is taking place. Let's see. Okay, so the rumble strips, that issue. So regarding this centerline rumble strips, they would be the ones to install these, but it depends on having the adequate pavement, lanes, width, so forth, which shouldn't matter for the center line. I don't know why they put that in there, but rumbles, they said basically the rumble strips are generally installed with resurfacing projects, and since this area was just done a few years ago, we missed that opportunity. Sounds like the next capital project would be the most logical time to add these rumble strips. Huh. Anyway.
And that's 2019, or 2020, or
29.
9.
Yeah, but they did say since, that, you know, considering the what's going on with Route 50, that they are actually already in the progress of looking at doing it sooner than that 2029 projection. And they said when they do that, they're gonna have us on for the rumble strips out here. So when that does happen again, that we're gonna get those rumble strips.
It just also appears to me that the state should hold the contractor
Liable for
reliable,
that.
because
Oh,
this
I
wasn't,
totally
this wasn't a
agree.
year after that was put in that we were having those discussions. That sort of happened down there probably within the first 6, 8 months.
Do you really think it's that old? It's not really that old, is it?
Hmm?
It's not really that old, is it?
No.
Seems like it wouldn't be more than 4 years old,
No,
because Lisa's been mayor now 2 years, and.
right. And it was somewhere during the
Yeah.
end of my term that I had that
Yeah, it's
conversation.
not that, yeah, it's not that old. But yeah, so I did reach out further to the next person that I'm supposed to be in contact with. I just they haven't got with me just yet. But I will keep you updated on hopefully when we get these signs, when they're gonna put these signs in for it, and when they're gonna do the out front. And I also mentioned the sign to put in down here through traffic, keep right.
Oh, the one coming.
So I
from there.
mentioned every single sign that we talked about.
Every single sign. We're talking about, what, 12 signs?
I did. So, but I figured, you know, why would we order something like that when they're going to take
Yeah.
care of it and install it
Oh.
themselves, so.
Yeah, because they've got it other places, and I just keep thinking, why don't we have one coming up that way?
Right. So hopefully when I get back with them, I'll have a better idea of giving you guys the timing on when they'll do it,
So what did you say about the light change?
light change.
Up
She talked about
to
lights, we
the
didn't
bottom
say
of the
that.
second hand.
Oh, she didn't say anything about second hand.
She just said about the lights,
Lights,
something
yeah.
about lights.
Yeah, the light out here.
Oh, out here.
Warning,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, the warning beacons, that's what that I was talking about. They were.
Further down.
Yeah, they said that they want to put it within a 300 to 400 range. So it wasn't a, yeah.
Okay,
And they want to do some more research on this light in particular.
about the left turn signal?
No, this is Germany.
Oh, okay.
So they want to do like crashes, things like that. How many people we had run the stop sign and crash? Because I know there's a good list.
Yeah.
I believe. So I don't think we'll have any issues having them take care of that. And I don't know, maybe I was pushing a little bit with our old antique lights up there. And hey, can you throw us a bone on that?
Well,
too?
that's what Don talked about that he wants that left turn signal if they do put new ones up.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Because that would be an
Because
ideal
it
thing. We
should be
need that.
there, considering we're right across the street from that large plant too. I mean, really, we should have the left turn signals.
Yeah, but we'd have to pay for it. Traffic light.
Yeah, I
Right.
know. I'm trying to
Yeah,
hey guys.
smooth in on.
there has to be a refurbished one somewhere, right?
Because that green one right now on the
Yeah, it's not
side's
even
kind of
green.
weak.
It's not even green.
It's
It looks-
weak.
Okay, and let's see. And then in case anybody didn't hear it from the last one, our Christmas luncheon is Thursday at 11:30.
11:30 or
I
11?
have that in a form of a motion, we're not doing expenditures, so covered with the
I don't think we
auditors.
should be expending anything, but
11:30 or 11?
yeah, can one of you guys make a motion that we have our Christmas party?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Pam Jackson to have our Christmas luncheon at 11:30 on Thursday. Any discussion?
Do we bring, well, we said we could bring stuff, right?
I am bringing meatloaf and mashed potatoes,
Okay.
and then I usually make a pretty large one, so.
Yes.
I'm doing the same thing I've done the
And a
past.
pretty good
Just bring
one, I
some.
did.
So honestly, if everybody brings stuff, we usually end up with
so
a
much.
very good spread of, we usually don't have to maybe spend a little bit on pop or
Just say
something like
Wednesday or
that.
Thursday, I'm sorry.
Thursday.
Thursday,
third, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
20:30.
Okay, yeah.
And you said 11 or 11:30?
11:30,
On the 23rd, right?
yeah, Thursday.
Thursday.
That is 23rd, I believe.
Right.
Yep.
And then the building will be closed on Friday because it's Christmas Eve, and then on Monday because Christmas falls on.
The Saturday.
Yeah, it's weird.
I know,
Yes.
it's
Uh.
crazy this year.
All right, call for the vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yeah.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys. That's all I have for now, and then I will keep you posted on all the ODOT
I'm
happenings.
just going to leave it in that so that,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I've got it in my draft.
Bob Kelly?
Okay, I have an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to enter into a 7th amendment to the water contract with the city of Cincinnati.
I make a motion that the rules be suspended, said ordinance be read 3 times by title only and declared an emergency.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Pam Jackson. Are there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yeah.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
I'm sorry if I'm going out of order, it's just the way I had it
Okay.
already pre-typed.
First reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to enter into 7th amendment to water contract with the city of Cincinnati. Second reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to enter into 7th amendment to water contract with the City of Cincinnati. Third reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to enter into Seventh Amendment to water contract with the City of Cincinnati.
Make a motion that the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Ann Pillow. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
And this one,
She's got to.
this one will be 24.
Next one, I have an ordinance transferring funds from the Addison General Fund Savings Account to Addison Board of Public Affairs for the acquisition of a 2018, that should be Ford truck, and providing for the repayment by the Aston Board of Public Affairs and declaring an emergency. And in section 2 of that document, the one thing that I knew they wanted this ordinance, but an end date when the money will have to be paid back. That's what has to be inserted in the ordinance.
Will you send me a clean copy, Bob, when you get back?
I will.
Okay. By the way, the truck has been purchased. It is here. It's been here for about 3 weeks. I think they're in the process of looking for the emergency lights. I think they was going to hold off on any logo and that until after the first of the year.
What did you need here? I'm sorry.
On section 2, we need the date when it's going to be paid back, Bob,
Oh, okay.
to put in the ordinance.
How long a term? In other words, are we going to allow them to pay us back on this?
When Jason came to the meeting that night, it is actually for $15,000. And they wanted to pay it back in installments, $1,500 a month, $1,500 a month for like a year, whatever it takes.
So it's not the 1860 for 18,
I don't, Bob, did I put 18 on there? I thought
I see
Yeah, it's 18 on there.
18,600 with 1550 as,
No, it should be actually be 1,500 or 15,000. At first they said that, and that might have been my mistake when I sent it to Bob.
and then they want to do 1500 and
No,
not
they're gonna do
1550.
1,500 until it's paid off. I think it's what, like a year and a half, something like that. It wasn't very long.
So that'll be June of 2023.
Yes,
So the 30th day of June 2023.
Okay. Is there a correction on the 18,000?
In section 1, that'll be 15.
Yes.
And I'll send over a correct
Okay.
amount.
and the transfer was actually done, if you need to know, is that what you need to know, Bob, when the money was actually transferred or when it was actually bought?
No, just transfer.
The transfer was actually on, I don't have it.
Oh, that's not important. This is just a CYA ordinance.
Council, what's your pleasure on this? Do you want a corrected one or?
No, I'm fine.
I mean, he will
What's the rest
correct
of
it
the
to
council?
reflect what
And he'll
it
send it
should
to
be.
me and then,
Well, then I'll make a motion that the rules be suspended and said ordinance be read 3 times by title only and declared an emergency.
second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Jennifer Anderson. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
First reading an ordinance transferring funds from the Aston General Fund Savings Account to Addyston Board of Public Affairs for the acquisition of a 2018 truck and providing for the repayment by the Addyston Board of Public Affairs and declaring an emergency. Second reading an ordinance transferring funds from the Addyston General Fund Savings Account to Addyston Board of Public Affairs for the acquisition of a 2018 truck and providing for the repayment by the Addyston Board of Public Affairs and declaring an emergency. Third reading, an ordinance transferring funds from the Addyston General Fund Savings Account to Addyston Board of Public Affairs for the acquisition of 2018 truck and providing for the repayment by the Aston Board of Public Affairs and declaring an emergency.
I'll make a motion to adopt as read.
Second.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Dan Pillow. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
This will be 25.
The next ordinance that I have is an ordinance transferring funds from, transferring funds from the Addison General Fund Savings Account to the Permissive Auto Fund in the amount of $72,284.53 and declaring an emergency.
Do we want to discuss this now or at the discussion time? Does anybody have any questions or things before we get to that point?
I kind of do, yeah.
Yes,
I didn't realize it was $72,000. I thought it was a lot smaller than that when we were at that meeting. That was $72,000.
That's what she said.
There was,
Seriously?
other adjustments were made in different accounts,
Okay.
but this one wiped out the permissive, and we cannot do an appropriations with a negative balance. They sent it back to me.
Remember we were gonna do it a while back and we wanted to hold off until we,
Well, I remember you
Yeah.
mentioning, I remember, I didn't
All
realize
facts.
that it was $72,000.
We was gonna try to go through and look at each one. I honestly feel that this audit group, I feel like all these adjustments were made prior in other audits when Baskin and Company was doing the audits, because I had to make those adjustments and show proof to Charles and Wayne Baskin before the audit could be completed. So I don't know until we dig further more into it, if that's why, or if it was the funds were in the wrong one.
So this is to get our appropriations, which he's about ready to do next.
Oh, yes.
And
we-
order.
We have,
Okay.
I have to have this in there. I can't show a negative balance because the county auditor will not accept the certificate of amended resources with a negative balance, because that makes everything else negative.
So taking, this was in the permissive auto fund? This amount of money was in there?
Well-
Just help me out a little bit here. There was $72,000 roughly in the permissive auto fund that shouldn't have been in there?
Well.
So now we have to replace it out of our general fund?
It's accumulation, I feel, because we only get like between $12,000 and $15,000 a year in
Right.
permissive auto. So all of that couldn't have been in the 2-year cycle. But they're saying that they instructed me per the audit to go in and make those adjustments. And I don't know if it's because of previous audits that they weren't done, the adjustments weren't done. But in my eyes, if I had to make adjustments, I was instructed to do so. I did them per who was doing the audit for them to complete the audit. So this is what the in the audit report, that's what it says, that this is what the adjustment's gotta be. There wasn't that much in there, believe me, but what they're saying is that it has to be put, moved in there, because it's a negative.
Yes, so this is coming out of our savings account. So with the truck and this, we're gonna take about $82,000 out of our savings again.
Probably what you said, about 82, something like that, and on the truck, I believe with the water that,
87,
yeah, with the water, they'll probably pay that back sooner.
So when we say our savings, is that the rainy day fund, maybe?
Yes.
Make sure I got the right things. So should be getting very low on that, I assume.
It was attached to the bank statement. If you look on the bank statement, if you look at the fund, the first one is the regular operating fund. The second one, that is the coded 2968, that's the sweep account that moves money into our regular account. And then the 7266, that one there is the rainy day, the savings, the money market. There's $231,854.37 in there. And that is after that 15,000 was transferred out. It's all in this report, the one I just read you. And as the monies come in from the permissive fund, we'll just probably have to have another ordinance to put that money where we need it, back in the fund, I would assume. Does everybody see what I was talking about when I referred to the bank statement and the accounts, the codes?
We sort of feel that way right now.
So basically, council needs to remember to come back to this, to move the money back into its savings account when we get permissive auto funds in, correct?
I have to find out if we can do that. I wouldn't want us to do it if we can't, but yes. We will see if that's permissible.
Okay, so I got confused again. So,
Well, what I'm saying
I mean, I
is that-
remember during that meeting,
Yeah.
you guys said, well, when the money comes in, what we'll do, we'll pay that back.
Right.
So it should go back into that savings. So now you're saying, you just said
Well,
that.
I
you don't
want to
think we'll
make,
do
I
that.
want to make sure, because I don't want to get cited again for
Well,
doing
yeah.
something wrong.
I
But
know.
in my eyes, if you take it, it should go back in there.
Yeah, it should.
But I want to know, I want somebody's, besides
I imagine
me.
when he does the ordinances, that's what covers us.
Well, yeah, that's why
Or
I asked for that.
resolutions, correct?
Well, no, what's happening is if the state auditor is finding you have a deficiency of 72,000 in the permissive auto fund, you have to move money from the general fund, which is essentially like all-purpose money that can be used for anything. The money that's targeted for permissive auto fund has limitations on what it can be used for. So let's say, as Margaret says, you get $12,000. You get $12,000 in this time, and you say, well, we'll put that $12,000 in a general savings. You can't put it over there because when the money comes in from the state, that money has to be used for
For that
permissive
purpose.
auto. So what you have to do is you have to look up and see what is a permissible expenditure from the permissive auto fund, and then funding that you would derive from the general fund for the same purpose. You would not use your general fund money, you would draw down or deplete the permissive auto fund. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, I understand what
And
you're saying
then
then.
when they had me do these adjustments, they had me make adjustments to the street construction, maintenance and repair fund. We got over $100,000 in it.
So that's tough.
So it's like anything that would have been paid for out of street maintenance in the general fund for the next year, everything should come out of that fund because that fund's really like over.
So in this auto, I'm sorry, Bob, in this permissive auto fund then, if we only acquire, say, 12,000 a year, somewhere around that, where are we getting the money like that, 72,000? Like if we can't take it back out, why would we put that much in there if normally what we get in that is 12,000 in a year?
Well, that's an answer that we have to find out when we get the CPA in here, because what I'm saying is, I in my heart don't feel that the auditors were right in that, because that would have been adjustments for like
6 years.
6 or 7 years.
Correct.
I was making
So-
adjustments all along with other audits.
I guess that's why I was kind of shocked when I seen 72, because we don't get that much in that account.
I know.
And I
So-
guess my question to follow up on that, if we're going to take the permissive auto money and as it comes in and put it in our
We
account?
can't do that.
Well,
Can't
okay,
do that.
so-
It's got, it's designated for permissive auto, which is for like on the street, anything related to the street.
Okay.
That's the taxes that come in on.
So I guess what I'm really getting at though is how did we come up with 72? Who gave you that number 72?
They did, the auditors.
Okay, that's where I'm getting at. How did we get that number?
Well, they're the ones that did it, and what I'm saying is
Okay.
that for a 2-year period, there couldn't have been that much money brought in, and that's
24,
what's
25.
like so upsetting with me is with the auditors.
in there if we wouldn't be able to move it out? Bob, what can we do with
Well,
this?
in other words, I think you should have one reading of this ordinance.
And
Then we
go
should
back
get
on
the
it.
audit report and look at the audit report. Because what's gonna end up happening is you really have to, what Margret said about street construction, maintenance and repair is correct. That's a restricted fund.
They're
So
all restricted.
if the maintenance department goes out and works on the streets or anything like that, their payroll should be taken out of street construction, maintenance, and repair. The permissive auto fund, you have to find out everything that would be an eligible expenditure, and then you spend down the permissive auto tax fund. As you spend down those two funds, the money will continue to come in for the general fund, which will be built back up.
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
Bob, you are correct, and I know that with permissive, in the past, we've even paid employees out of it. We've paid for road maintenance, we've paid for signs, because I do know what can come out of the fund. It's the same way with the street construction, maintenance, and repair fund. I do know what can come out of that. I do know the state highway fund. Those are our special funds. And with the general fund, we can use that money and put it anywhere, but we can't take, like, say, water money and put it in the general fund, or sewer money and put it in the general fund. These are things that the auditor of state from this last audit made these adjustments on. And like I said, you know, when they took and they had me adjust the street construction, maintenance, and repair, like I said, it's got almost $100,000 in it. If you look at the bank statement I gave you, it shows you that.
Right.
That's reflected in that, and it shows you the negative amount in the permissive. This isn't something Margret Ann just decided to do. This is something that the auditors have done, and like I said, they have had to go back from all the previous audits and determine that the adjustments weren't made when I know they was made from the other audits, because they wouldn't accept the audit without the adjustments being made. And it was right in my system.
There's another provision in the law where you can take money from a restrictive fund and put it in a general fund if you initiate a court action on it. So what I'm saying is, if we take a critical look at the, say, the reports for the permissive auto tax, okay, we look at those and see what money came in and where it was paid, etc., we could file an action in common pleas court and get some of those findings reversed, changed, or modified.
Well, right now,
And
that
this is-
doesn't help us.
Well, it will help you. It will help you if we look at it, because if we get the court order, then we take our 72 back out of permissive auto and put it
Then,
right
yes.
into the general fund.
Yes.
And we take
Yes.
our 100 out of street construction, maintenance, and repair and put it in a general fund and say, you know, this money should be in these funds because these expenditures are absolutely permitted by the permissive tax fund. So when you look at this, when you look at your audit reports and all our books and records are okay until Aston leaves. So up till about 2016, you know, we might get dinged for 5 things. 5.
From that,
Okay.
from that audit.
From Aston, who is a CPA and is approved by the state auditor. All of a sudden, the state auditor comes in and then, you know, they're making a finding. I remember this distinctly because one of the findings were for 3 cents. And it's just like, really, you don't have anything better to do with your time? And I think it's just a matter of overkill. And sometimes you just have to face the facts that the state auditor runs for election, okay? And the more he thinks he can be the watchdog of funding and everything else, you know, maybe he garners votes that way. But it's not like the money's gone, the money's missing, or anything like that. Everybody's in the right church, they're just in the wrong pew. And so we can maybe resolve right church, right pew through a legal action to get these funds transferred. And I think that's what we should do.
So that's what basic answer, we could fix it.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I have to have something done or we cannot do an appropriations. I cannot do an amendment unless council adopts this resolution.
Oh, you have to
ordinance.
balance.
I have to have my sheet,
Okay.
when I sent down
Right.
the certificate of revenue, and I can.
You
put it
can't
on
have
the
a
check.
negative fund
I can't have a
balance.
negative fund balance because everything else is gonna be considered
Right.
over
I understand.
appropriated.
I understand.
But like I said, you know, I don't have a problem with the CPA coming in and going through everything. I mean, I want to know why, you know, when Baskin and them was here, we got it down to a 5-page audit and then they blew me out of, you know, might as well say me, my name's on it, out of the water for 4 years. I mean, I want answers too. It's not only council that maybe wants answers, Margret Ann wants answers. This is my name that's out there being dragged through the mud.
Well, I think what the answer is to get all our money into a fund where we can use it in the least restrictive manner. And if you have to do something temporarily,
Because this is a temporary budget we're doing anyway, right?
right,
But we
in
have to
essence, what you're
finalize
doing,
this year's, and this affects how we close out this year.
Okay.
If
Well,
we
council-
don't have that, Lisa, then we can't do anything. Not this year and not next year.
Any other discussions, council?
I could discuss it all night and not really completely understand it, but that's okay. Just the thing that I just really was trying to get at, very simply, was how do we get the 72,000 dollars back to where it should be.
That's what he
He
said.
said court would have to do it after we do a temporary thing.
No,
Until
the temporary has nothing to do with this. This is something totally different. We're going to do a temporary appropriations for the first 3 years of 2022, so we can do payroll and pay our obligations.
Three months.
For 3 months.
But what you're saying is, this affects the temporary appropriations because if our books aren't balanced, we can't get the certificate of estimated resources. So we've got to do this
To get the certificate.
to get the certificate, and
Because they
then,
kicked it back.
then we
in the
go
hole.
down to court.
Council, what's your pleasure?
All right, I'll move to suspend the rules, read the ordinance 3 times by title only, declare an emergency after it's read 3 times. Alan Weston.
We got a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it. It appears as this is what we have to do to get, to move forward, but, well, okay, I'll second and we'll talk about it.
Motion by Pam Jackson to suspend the rules and second by Dan Pillow. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I'm just saying, we're gonna do this on a 1 reading basis, or 3, I just heard 3.
Yeah, she did
We
suspend the
need to do
rules.
probably 3 because 1 reading, how's that gonna work? It's like.
Well, then you're going to have to meet again
3
next.
times.
You're going to have to meet 3 times because I have to have this in order for us to be able to move forward with the appropriations closing out this year to have a temporary for next year.
And we're at the end of the
Because
year.
1 won't pass.
I mean, if we do 3
We have to have it
readings,
done
we
by
have to
December
be here.
31st. That's all there is to it.
By what date? I'm sorry.
December 31st, they have to have it. I mean, they've
So
already
11
been
days.
sending me emails, and when I sent it to her,
So we have to have 3
On
meetings in 11
Friday.
days?
No, we can do it
No,
on
you
3
can do it
readings
on-
tonight.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute, what are we doing? I was a little confused on
Well,
that one.
right now, we only have 1 reading because the motion stands.
No, I said 3.
she made it
She
for
said
the
She
three.
said 3.
I said 3. She said 3 meetings.
Yeah, she said suspend the rules.
Yeah, that's what I'm
and-
saying. I said you suspended the rules, so we could have it done tonight.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Got it now.
agreeing with you. I was
I
agreeing
got it
with
now.
you. Yes, because she suspended the rules, so we wouldn't have to meet again. Because I was just explaining to her, like, if we do 1 reading, then we're gonna have to meet again,
Do it
2 more
second and
times.
then third.
yes.
Okay.
So by her having, right now, the motion says she suspended the rules.
Are there any other things that we need that are gonna show negative, Margaret?
No, that's the only one. The other, like I said, you know, they more or less took money out of, say, permissive, and they put it in street construction and maintenance and repair, because like I said, that fund has over $100,000 in it. And that's we usually carry about, say, between 48 and 58,000 in street construction. So that's where they moved it to, and I honestly have not had the time to go back through every sheet. But from the meeting we had with them that day, you know, the exit interview, I mean, that was the main one.
So they did what they wanted to do to get it finalized on their side.
More or less on what they say, that's the way it should be. And if it's from prior auditors who were an independent CPA, I can't understand why they would have me make those adjustments if they weren't right.
Something's wrong somewhere.
Any further discussion? Call for the vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay?
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
First reading, an ordinance transferring funds from the Aston General Fund Savings Account to the Permissive Auto Fund in a sum of $72,284.53 and declaring an emergency. Second reading, an ordinance transferring funds from the Aston General Fund Savings Account to the Permissive Auto Fund in the sum of $72,284.53 and declaring an emergency. Third reading, an ordinance transferring funds from the Aston General Fund Savings Account to the Permissive Auto Fund in the sum of $72,284.53 and declaring an emergency.
I'll make a motion to adopt as read.
Second it.
Motion by Pam, second by Jennifer Anderson. That's weird.
It is, I mean, you know.
Throws it off. It's like-
Was there any other discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
I like mixing it up, so.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
I'm sorry, Jennifer.
Yay.
See, I don't have her written down, that's why. Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
This will be 26.
Then I have an ordinance to amend appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Aston, Ohio during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2021. This is kind of a different format than we've had before because this actually goes through the account codes.
Well, this is something that they asked for in the audit. This is one of the things that they said we didn't do the last time, but we have done it before. And council, I want to say on this, what's on here, there are, each supervisor knows that no more purchase orders. I met with different ones and I locked in what they told me they needed for the end of the year to get us through the end of January. And if something does come up, it's really got to be an emergency, and I do have one line item that I sort of had if an emergency comes up, and it's not a lot. It's just in case we need it.
So help me again. What I have here in front of me, the ordinance, does that indicate the ending balance as to where we are this year, or what we have
No,
left?
this is just appropriations. This is what we've appropriated for the year.
For the end of the year, or the whole year?
For the whole year.
That's what I wanted to know.
And this is just appropriation. This isn't cash. Okay, if you look on the last page,
I'm good.
I show where, I show like anticipated expenditures, and then like appropriations, and I got anticipated revenue of all resources, and then minus is the appropriations. It sort of shows you where the money came in and what we're appropriating, where we haven't gone over the money. We always run into that.
Council, what's your pleasure? This is what's sent downtown for the certificate.
Oh, yes, this goes with the amended certificate.
I'll move to suspend the rules, read the ordinance 3 times by title only, and declare it an emergency.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Linda Martin. Are there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Ann Pillow, go ahead, Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
First reading, an ordinance to amend appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Addison, Ohio during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2021. Second reading, an ordinance to amend appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Addison, Ohio during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2021. Third reading, an ordinance to amend appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Addison, Ohio during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2021.
I'll make a motion to adopt as read.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Linda Martin. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Next ordinance I have for you is an ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Addyston, Ohio during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2022.
Is this a temporary or is this the
Temporary.
full?
Temporary.
And, okay, then we'll do a permanent ordinance at some point.
Before April 1st, we have to have a permanent adopted and sent down to the county. And this is only based on 3 months of services and 3 months of income, Dan.
Okay, so this will allow us and people who have committees and work with areas to go through this between now and April. I thought that we were going to, that we had a law, a rule, somewhere that this was all going to be done in November. Now, am I remembering correctly or not? What needs to be done in November? What was the Finance Committee going to do and present to council in November?
November, there's an ordinance that all spending is supposed to be cut off, which hasn't happened. And then as far as putting together the permanent appropriations, it was discussed when Steve Dalton was finance chairman to try to do that. But with everything going on this past year, it just didn't happen. And, I mean,
I don't think there was an ordinance to that effect.
there was no ordinance.
It was an aspirational goal to get it concluded.
Somewhere, this council voted that certain things be done. I thought there were recommendations brought from the Finance Committee, and the council said, yes, we agree that by November, whatever will be done. Maybe not this, but maybe all of the money, all of the spending, and all of that stuff be stopped in November.
That is true, but it hasn't happened.
Ordinance.
The 15th, I think it was, of November. I think November 15th was the
It
day.
was November
So
15th.
I just
I
don't
think
want to.
maybe was that done in the motion and the ordinance was never put in place.
Right.
It's possible,
There has been an ordinance on the book
because I
about
know it was
spending.
discussed, yes,
But it's
absolutely.
been a couple years, it's a couple years old on that ordinance. And I had asked for that so that I could try to close things out. But when people keep spending, and I don't have all the facts, like right now, I'm trying to find out through Hamilton County on some grants that I don't have the information on. I mean, I'm sitting upstairs with, actually it's here, I'm sitting with the water board. They've got like $15,000 in money from the assessment. I don't know where to take that from. And it's supposed to be part of the grant, and nobody from the county's got back from me on that assessment.
Oh, well, you should have told me you got the
I-
invoice.
Well, I did. I told you last week. I said I got invoice I'm holding because I don't know where to take it from. You told
I
me
thought
that.
you were talking about
talked
the
that Claire and all of
meters.
them. I did. They have been ordering meters
The
too.
meters, yeah.
And like this is on the stuff they bought to test all the, what do you call them?
The valves.
The valves. I mean, I don't know where to take that from. No, so I'm sitting
Don't take
here.
it from anywhere. I'll
Yeah.
get a hold of the.
I mean,
I'll get a hold of them.
I've reached out to, that Claire is on vacation down at the county. I reached out to Sean Riggs. He told me he thought that you had got something through CD, community development. I mean,
And the water,
so,
I thought you were just talking about the meters, because the
But-
meters could come out of what was, the meters could actually come out of what I registered as for that 98,000. We got that 40-something thousand, because that can be used for water infrastructure, like valves, meters, things of that nature. Now that, Hamilton County, that's supposed to be paid directly from them. I'll get a hold of somebody and get that.
well, we did get a deposit on that, but I didn't, at the time that I made the deposit or put it in my books, I put it all in for that grant. So
I
if
will
I know
take care
that.
of that immediately tomorrow.
But we probably, okay, well, you and I can
Yeah,
talk
we'll
about
get together,
tomorrow.
we'll get that done tomorrow.
Okay. But anyhow.
They're supposed to pay it. We're not supposed to pay that.
Okay. Anyhow, Dan, there is an ordinance on the books, and it goes back probably maybe 5-6 years. All spending is supposed to end by November the 15th. And I think it was even in our policy and procedure book at one time. And I have asked repeatedly at meetings for everybody to get their spending in. And the purpose is that is so I know where we are. Okay, so.
Do we have an initial motion on that?
Well, I don't know who,
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Pam. Who
Because while I was
seconded?
looking at that, I think Linda did.
Linda, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any other discussion? Call for a vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
First reading and an ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Aston, Ohio during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2022. Second reading and an ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Addyston, Ohio during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2022. Third reading and an ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Addyston, Ohio during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2022.
I'll make a motion to adopt as read.
A second.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Linda Martin. Any further discussion? No discussion, call for the vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Council, I'm just going to say this. I don't want to be Scrooge here tonight, but when I get a 7 or 8 page document, try to go through it and see what I might think is omitted, needs to be added, or whatever, this is what I thought that type of ordinance was to get us away from. Because it happens almost every year. At the last minute, something's plopped down in front of us, and we're expected to vote on that. And just to keep things running, but I think that there's going to have to be a discussion, there's going to have to be some real-time decisions made on how we're going to handle this and who's going to be involved. The council, you need to be involved. It's not just to look at it and vote on it. We need to be involved, and I've said this several times. We need to take a week or 2 weeks to sit down and go over our appropriations.
Dan, when you look at these ordinances, the 2 long ones that you've got, they changed the entire format. So when they put the general fund in here, what it used to be is if you go back to, for the period ending December 31st, 2022, you go back to this page here, like where it says 2022 temporary appropriations by fund. That's the way your appropriation ordinances used to be. Now, all these items
On
that are,
page 6?
yes,
I don't remember seeing them like that.
they were all like one-page ordinances.
Yeah,
So,
I've never seen one that lengthy.
well, the reason why you see one this lengthy.
Yeah, I know.
The reason why you see one this lengthy is because if you look over here, within the books and records of the village, they have all these account codes. The state auditors told the village clerk, put all the account codes on here and the individual appropriations, don't lump them by fund. That's-
Bob, if I may, I'm not arguing with the state. State
Oh.
does what they got to do. I'm just saying, we are responsible for getting this done and getting it done in a timely manner. And I know everybody's really busy and they had things to do, but this is what we said we would do. That's all I'm saying.
That is 3 months. That's for people to go in, the committees to go in and put numbers in. This is just something to allow us to do payroll and pay the designated bills that we have, like the lights, the phones, and things like that. Where there's zeros, that doesn't mean that that's the appropriation. It just means that there's no money in there. But we
And I'm
have to
good.
have something to operate on
Yeah.
to please the county.
Don't misinterpret my point, is that we need to do this early. And we need to, we've talked about it, and we just really need to do it. I'm sorry.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Bob. Council, before I go to committees, I'm gonna go to audience. Okay. Bush, did you want to address the council?
Yeah, I was just curious what you had found out about the property when I was here last meeting.
I think he's still working on that. Right, Bob?
On your property? Yes, I'm doing the research on that, and then I'm gonna get with the property maintenance inspector. They have them write the orders.
The old Mac and Ben's.
Do you have anything else,
The church
Bush?
down Main Street.
All right, thanks,
building on
He
the
just
right.
enjoys our company.
You know, before you get that last.
Gets
Does Pam know where you're at, huh?
She's probably waiting for him outside.
We'll go ahead and go to the maintenance. Did you have anything, Dustin?
I'm good this evening.
All right, thanks, Dustin.
Comes the chief. He's looking like, oh God.
The numbers
We didn't
that we have for
decide
the
not
police
to.
department for last month were
Because I don't think. we
20 traffic
that.
citations
Where we just take
ranging from
things like that
speed
and stuff.
to failure to maintain reasonable control, and 1 criminal arrest, and that was for a carrying a concealed weapon, reference of disturbance at one of the bars, where we did seize a loaded .45 semi-automatic off of the subject.
Oh,
As you all did have in your email, Officer Brown has tendered his resignation effective the 7th of January. He was offered a position at the Bethel, Ohio Police Department that's offering him benefits full-time. We just can't match that pay. When he gets out of probation, it'll be at $25 an hour. And it's full-time, and it will pay into his pension. So he's a young man, he's got to do what's best for him. Like the mayor said, I hate to lose him. He's been a workhorse for us. We do have 2 potential officers in the background phase right now. I am speeding this up as fast as I can. Both of these officers have worked here before. One for a couple of days before he was told by his other employer he didn't work here any longer. And the other one left to go to Golf Manor and has now made his way back around this way. So I'm being a little more thorough in backgrounds. I don't want a problem child again. And if that means being short a guy, then other than us having a problem child, it could be a potential lawsuit liability down the road. I'm pretty sure council would.
you can never
Yeah.
predict who that's gonna be and what they're gonna do.
Yeah, but if they're gonna show me the warning signs ahead of time,
Yeah, definitely look into it as much as possible.
yeah, we are. And then, once we get that done, Sergeant Pennicamp is working diligently with me on that. As soon as we get those done, then, if they make it through that, then we will send them to Highway Patrol for a polygraph. And then, to Dr. Baker in, Hamilton for psychs. Other than that, nothing else from the police department. But Ms. Jackson, I will tell you, I'm trying not to have overtime, everything I can do. As you guys are going through this, we have an open shift on Christmas night. I basically sent it out and I'm begging these guys to pick it up. I don't know what else to do. My hands are kind of tied. I can't, unless council actually absolutely tells me not to work that shift, I can't let the residents of this village not have a patrol car on the street. They expect us to be there. That's the reason why we don't have the thefts that we have. That's the reason why we don't have the burglaries that we used to have, is because we have a car on the streets here 24 hours a day, and people know that. As soon as they find out we don't have a car and it's the county on a response-only basis, every theft person that thieves to fill their habits is gonna be right back in here, hitting garages and hitting cars.
I'm not saying not to do it.
I know, I just don't want you thinking I'm doing this to try to get overtime, because trust me, after 20 years of doing this, 16-hour days are not fun anymore.
But we have part-time people just to, I don't have to go through it again.
Yeah.
Can you utilize them?
Yeah, if I had the ability to force them to work the shift, but unfortunately I don't. That's all I've got.
All right, thank you.
I got one other
Sure.
thing. Was that address on Mr. Weber's report? I'm just curious.
I think it was.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty sure I read
I
that.
believe it is, yeah.
Mhm.
Because it is the biggest problem right now, really.
Yeah, because in that report, he said he's back to the bank, and he has to go back to PNC, see what they've done with it.
All right.
That's on his report.
All right, we'll go to committees at this time. Dan, did you have anything?
Thank you, Mayor. West Side was paid $94,000 for the construction that they did with the walks and the roads. Hamilton County informed us that there was still $30,000 available from that project. And I wrote back very quickly, yes. They asked if we want to use it, and I said, yes, we will use it. I will get with the committees to see
There's
what
still
they're feeling.
34 left from that?
Yes, because it was over 100,000, so.
30,000,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was like
They gave us extra
125,000.
money.
When's the
That's a
deadline?
bonus.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Claire's out of the office until
Yeah,
27.
that's good news. That's
Yeah,
great.
so-
When do we have to spend it by? Is there a
She
time frame?
didn't say, she just said keep her informed if we use a different contractor or do something different.
Well, she's out of the office until the 27th, Dan, because
Yeah.
I've been trying to get with her on stuff. so.
27th of January?
No, December.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We'll be, try to have everybody their thinking caps on what we can move forward with on that
The next
particular.
piece over there?
Dominic was
thing.
actually, she told me she'd get you that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that never came. I apologize for that.
No, it's not your fault.
You said 30,000?
I'm sorry.
30,000?
30,000.
No, yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
30,000, so.
Especially something that they're supposed to
There's,
pay when they said they were paying, gonna pay it.
So that'll definitely give us something to think about with the spring coming or whatever.
Wheels turning already in everybody's
Move around
heads.
on that. And,
Well, we have the plans, already for one of those projects, so you
yeah,
have to pick which
What next?
project
yeah, we got to figure out which one that we can do with 30,000.
with 30,000.
Yeah,
Gotta bring it
yeah,
back to council.
okay. So,
Okay, that's just the public.
Council,
hearing.
again, I don't know where we are,
Her to do.
but we have we have said that we're going to have an audit firm come in. I don't know if anybody's done anything on that, just not hearing anything from anybody. I was informed that
Because they got.
the Attorney General's office
stuff like that. There's
offers free
Yeah, they've been.
forensic type
I'll get
audits.
with them and then see what.
Oh, nice.
And if in fact
Okay.
that is true, I've talked to them on several occasions. I haven't talked to them, I have tried to call them and left the message. I would at least like to see what they have to say about that. If it's free, we can look at that.
Well, I forwarded everybody the email from the survey that
Yeah.
TJ White's group from the Center for Local Government
Yeah.
put out. Did anybody call any of those people? I mean,
I'm happy to call and interview all of them if council
Somebody
wants me to
should
do
do it. I don't wanna
that.
do it.
But I'll be happy to do it. But I am at least making some inquiries about it. If the council wants me to call those other companies
on that
and
email.
set up interviews, that's what we have to do. I'm not willing to say, okay, yeah, you do it. At least we need to find out some sort of a framework in how they do things and get some cost factors from all of those, and we need to let them know exactly what we want as a council. I mean, I can tell them one thing, but council, maybe that's an area we need to sit down and talk about. Just exactly what do we expect to get.
Listen, you know what happened with the water board. That ain't my fault.
Just exactly what we expect to get from this audit. I mean, no need in wasting our time and doing anything if we don't know as a council what we're trying to accomplish, what we need to know. So we need to find out from different people what they plan to do. If they're just going to do what we've already done, I mean, what's the point?
Or you're talking about the
Basically,
CPAs.
that's basically what they're gonna do.
I'm sorry, Mark, I
I
can't
think
hear
that's
you.
basically what they'll do. They'll come in and they'll go in the areas that was in that audit and, see what they've done. As I said, I'm curious because I want to know about when previous audits had me do adjustments. I want an answer on this last audit. Why they didn't do this in 16, 17? And then brought it over to 18, 19 and did it apparently for all previous audits. I mean, I want answers too.
Yeah, and look, this is no finger point, no disparagement. This becomes systemic. And when we do, they'll be in here when? January, February, March, to start in on 20 and 21.
They told us they wouldn't be in until later because they're doing schools right now. They said
Right.
that they have pushed it
Yeah,
back.
because,
That's what they said in that audit.
But you should be ready by,
2021, so we should be ready within,
So,
Well,
I mean,
you know.
that's done. It's just a matter of finding out again from them, what did we clean up, what didn't we clean up? And look, in 16 and 17, council elected, we elected, whoever elected, to say, okay, if you remember this, because I asked about this, that 16 and 17 is too far back to look. To which I said, 18 and 19 will be worse. And it was, for whatever reason. So what do we know about 20 and 21? Are we still going to be doing the same thing over and over? I'm just saying, this has got to stop. And it's our responsibility to the citizens of the village of Addyston to figure out a way to get our books in order. I don't want to see Addyston's name in the paper, with the...
I like to when it's good news.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But political, unpolitical, I don't care how it is, we have a problem and we gotta fix it. That's the bottom line. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. We just want to clean it up. However we have to. If it has to be the forensic team, like you said, the one that's
Oh my
even
God.
maybe free.
Whatever. We just have to make a decision to do something. And I will follow up if that's council's desire. I will follow up. I will look at the list that the local government, TJ White. I'll be happy to do it. I don't want to do it, but somebody's got to do it.
Exactly, somebody will do it.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. I don't mind calling these things and letting council know, giving council a report that these are the firms that I contacted, and
I thought
this is what they're...
we actually got with a few from the local government thing.
We do. We have a list.
There's two different things. There's the local government agency is an account with the auditor.
The local government
That's
agency.
local government.
Okay.
The group we joined is called Center for Local
Center for
Government.
Local Government.
Two
Exactly.
different things. TJ White is the gentleman who come out from the Center for Local Government. April Davis is from the Auditors Division of the
That would be the Auditors
Services for
Division,
Local
correct.
Government. Now, they have sent me a quote. I do have it, I just didn't bring it tonight. So,
Okay.
How many
I'll
times
actually
have
look
we
into
paid
that.
them to come in
Actually,
already?
I'm going to
I'm
look
sorry.
into that, and I will bring that back.
Are you going to do it then?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to continue to...
I will do it, and,
Work on
because I
it
have no
too.
issue with it, I just thought we'd already talked to a couple different what do you call them, CPAs, whatever. And if we haven't, that's fine. I'll make sure that I get one of them here to do what we expect them to do.
Or what are they
Well-
gonna do?
Or,
Lisa, I'm not sure that I understood you right. Let me clarify it. You're gonna contact them so that they can come out, or so that we can go through all of them, find out what their costs are?
yeah, find out what their costs
and
are, what they'll do, what they'll
do.
actually do for us.
Absolutely.
Because if we need our books fixed, you know, if they see something we don't see, then we need to get that done.
Yeah.
You know, I'm well aware that that's what should happen.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely, I don't want jumping us into something without knowing the cost. I
Yeah,
mean,
sure. Yeah.
so different agencies, maybe not just for Center for Local Government, some different agencies, and see what they say, what they would do and how much it costs.
So right now, everybody's sitting here.
And I'll
thinking
bring it back
yesterday.
Okay.
to council.
Council, what do we tell the mayor that we want done so that we're all, so that we have one thing going to all of these people? She's going to be talking to several different people.
Yes.
What is it that we want done? Somebody to go over the audit and do what? Point out to us what?
So basically, what are you guys expecting from a CPA to do?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to know, what council.
Well, I think first the treasurer's books better get in order since the,
We don't even have one right
well,
now.
I need the treasurer's to
That's not- I don't think that's
reconcile with
first.
her books.
Right
Our
now,
books are what
my
matter.
book is balanced right now.
Yeah.
Things that happened in the past, I cannot go change in UAN. It will not let me go back and make any change.
So then what
Okay.
happened with
So-
the treasurer's over
Well,
with?
they don't look at the treasurer's books,
Okay.
so they don't care. I pointed that out in the meeting, I even showed them the printout. And the one, you know, their boss looked at them like, did you know this? I mean, Betsy and that Aaron, Eric, they didn't seem to matter.
And
But
who else's books does?
it's,
So
well,
you're only
it's
looking at
mayor's,
your
no,
books.
it's mayor's court and it's the water stuff.
Okay.
All that falls in line with the audit,
So it's not just her, it would be like.
even
you
though
know,
my name's on it.
It's not just
other
that
people.
account either. It's, you've got the mayor's account that's been a mess for over a decade. You've got the regular
there
general
you
fund
go.
account.
Check
And you got the
You've got the water
fund
account.
where
I
they
mean,
had
there's a
no
lot to
supervision
it.
over that girl. She just did whatever. And you gotta understand that. When money comes into the village, how it worked was, it would go to the treasurer who would make the deposit and write the receipts with the codes for me to enter in my system. And with the mayor's court, Aaron or that person in that position, that's a separate account for mayor's court, okay? That's not in our general fund or anything. They give us money to put in our funds, okay? So there's a set of books there, and truthfully, according to the auditors, the clerk should be auditing both the water and the mayor's court. And I have worked it out for the first of the year to meet with the water clerk, so she and I can, reconcile our stuff together. I just have to work something out with the mayor for that position in there. So there's more than just this. It all ends up here and goes through mine. And on some of this stuff, where we're over appropriated.
Why would you need, so I'm confused. So you're saying to audit Aaron, which has to do with the mayor's account,
That's what they're saying in the audit,
and
that
which you
I should
never
be
even
seen.
like
No, I
have
know.
anything to do with that.
I know, but they're saying.
They
that's
just want
what's
your
in-
name on
it's things-
everything.
It's what they're saying in the audit that we have to do to make
That's what they
records.
said that
Like, we had to
That
have,
doesn't make sense.
we had to have the disaster thing. That was one thing. We had to have a better credit card policy. All these things that we're trying to correct, that we've been bringing forth,
Yeah.
is from this last audit.
Yeah, they did that, those ladies.
So is there
and
anything,
that
can
was
I get
there.
a list? I
Yeah,
mean, so we can move
if-
forward? Like, what do you expect to see, council? I mean, when I ask, what do you want asked of them, so we can move forward?
I think you need to take the audit and go through it and say, where there was a finding, we need to know why they
That's what I wanna know
put the
why.
Why the
finding
finding
there.
and how to fix
I mean,
it.
how, what
I
do
mean,
we
that
do
would be
to
my
correct
thing.
it? And is their stuff right?
What you really need to do is you need to take the last audit from Aston, set it next to the first audit by
The state.
the state and say, compare these two. Because if you sit there and say, Mayor's Court's been messed up for 10 years, it's like, and Baston didn't catch it for 6 of the 10 years?
Yeah, they didn't.
Well, I know, but the thing that I'm saying
If we're gonna
is,
talk about that,
But-
we have to realize that the clerk in the office was never quite able to balance her books because she could not get the password that was necessary so that she could look at the account and balance and make sure it was balanced. So, but that.
Well, I'll make
that's
sure
the problem.
I'm not picking on,
I had given her the
hold on a
password
second.
several times.
I'm not picking
I know
on
better than
Erin.
that.
What I'm saying to you is this, if Baston comes out there and for 6 years doesn't target Mayor's Court, and where do we get Baston from? We get Baston from the state auditor who sends Baston in to do our books. It's like, you know, you've been telling us for 6 years that our books are okay based
I'm sorry,
on,
Counsel.
based on these findings.
That's the
And
way it
now
is.
all of a sudden, we've gone to hell in 4 years? There's no way.
Okay.
There's no way.
The-
And it's not taking Erin to task or anything
And
like
and that
that.
wasn't Aaron, that was the Mayor's Court. There was no person involved, but yeah, that's what was happening, that they weren't, didn't have access.
But Erin would ask me, and I would give her a new password. I mean, because,
But,
you know.
here, the password doesn't make a difference, because what the real issue is the state auditor sent Baston out here for 6 years.
Requested.
And never made the critical examination of the documents to say, you guys are doing this all wrong. We would get 3 or 4 pages of findings, now we get 35, and the state auditor puts this stuff in the paper that it looks like a wreck or whatever. Well, you know what? You sent us the guy that took the cornerstone of the building out with Baston. We followed what he did. When he said to make adjustments, we made the adjustments. Now you're coming back in
And telling us we
and
made it
saying,
wrong.
make different adjustments. And we get the people from your office in to make the adjustments. They make the adjustments, and then they say, well, those are wrong adjustments. I mean,
So,
there's no money missing.
anybody said there was.
But what I'm saying is, there's no money missing, but
It's perceived that
really,
way.
it's almost the minutia that they get into is appalling.
Well, that's their job, and they sent the best they had, and that's all I gotta say, is, it is what we had before that we gotta deal with.
I understand.
We don't have to deal with 15 and 14 and
Explained.
Okay.
and 20, all back there. We gotta deal with 16, 17, 18, 19, now 20 and 21.
And
I
about to be
rest,
22.
huh?
And about to be 22.
Yeah, I rest my
2021
case.
is going to look as bad because there's been a lot of changes made.
And I do have the opportunity that if I need to, I can go back and do things this year. I just can't close out and get back.
Okay. Did you have
Still
anything
got
else,
the one
Dan?
more.
No, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dan. I know you don't know what committees or anything else, but did you have anything anyway, Jennifer?
I do not.
All right,
I'm
thanks.
just observing and putting a couple little 2 cents in here and there.
Miss Ann,
I don't have anything.
What I understand at least.
Linda?
I don't have anything. I was just gonna ask about the ODOT stuff, but you covered
Oh,
it.
got it all for you. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the fact that they're actually going to pay for and install that stuff.
Yeah, because we didn't think they
That's
would.
not, yeah, see, I
because
didn't know.
We were gonna
That's-
pick the signs and everything and that, but if they're gonna do all that,
Yeah,
then so
exactly.
be it. Let them do
Let's
it.
let them do it.
Plus, if they give us permission for dining, that's even greater. We don't have to worry about going through all that.
Yeah, and I just
rigmarole.
need, like I said, as soon as I get with the next person in line that I'm supposed to get with, and they'll give us a date or whatever, and I'll let you guys know when they're gonna.
I mean,
do the
that's gonna
dining
be
tours.
difficult for a lot of people. Because that's going to send more
That
traffic down
does
this
bring
way.
me to a question. So since we don't have, since if we're gonna change this to a right turn only out of dining, obviously we would give people time to adjust to that, but after the fact, do we need an ordinance for that? If, say, they were to get written for a traffic ticket for turning left out of the right turn only?
Well, do they for down here by your house?
That's a good question.
The one that where you turn, you're not allowed
No
to.
left turn into the village.
Yeah, so I mean, if there's one already on there for that, then there should definitely be one put in
I
for
don't
this
think there
one.
is, that's why I'm
The only
asking.
thing
Oh.
you need to do is post a sign that's consistent with the Ohio Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. And if it says right turn only, and somebody turns left, they can be cited.
So there's nothing special or anything we have to do?
Put up a
I just wanna
sign.
make sure we're good,
Right.
as long as we have to sign up and everything like
I'm
that.
usually excited
They
about
usually
this,
put
but I'm
like
so
a
mad
change,
at the same
notifying the
time.
public for a while about the change.
That's, yeah, I see, it's gonna take
I'm
a
so
while.
used to just making that.
Oh, yeah. And that's about a
Give everybody a
30-day
chance.
courtesy,
Put it on our sign.
normal.
Yeah,
There's a 30-day courtesy that we
Yeah, because
usually do.
there's a lot of people turns left out of
oh,
there.
yeah. 'cause
Yeah,
it'll-
that's what I said. I'm so excited about doing it, but at the same time, I'm mad because I'm like, now I can't turn that way, or I'll have to start
We
getting
might
ready
still
to
be
not make
regular.
that
I
turn.
think it'll be.
It's just habit.
Yeah, down here.
That'll
Yeah.
stop a lot of the accidents,
They got it on,
hopefully.
yeah.
We'll probably have a few where you're
Okay.
bumping.
I was just gonna.
Right,
talk to
we'll
Ian.
put that on that digital sign.
Yeah,
Is that all you had, Linda?
oh, yeah.
All right, thank you, Linda. Pam?
A couple things. One thing we got, I guess we tabled the solicitor ordinance last month for the village solicitor. I guess
I
we
did
wanted to
print this
review
and
it.
put it in front of everybody.
Yeah, everybody should still have it.
So we'll-
I mean, we could take care of that tonight pretty easily.
Absolutely. And I will make a motion that said ordinance be read by 3 times by title only and declared an emergency. That's the,
There should be one in your
Yeah.
packet, Bob.
that's concerning hiring Bob Kelly, retaining his services.
Is that one the right one?
And I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Pam Jackson. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
First reading, an ordinance appointing the village solicitor, providing for and setting compensation for said position and declaring an emergency. Second reading, an ordinance appointing the village solicitor, providing for and setting compensation for said position and declaring an emergency. Third reading, an ordinance appointing the village solicitor, providing for and setting compensation for said position and declaring an emergency.
Make a motion we adopt as read.
Second.
Motion by Dan Pillow. I don't know who was first, but second by Jennifer. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
This will be number 29.
And the other one, which I can't find, is on the magistrate that we went to have. I know I had it, but I can't.
I didn't. Was there one email?
I didn't see one.
It was one
There wasn't nothing in this
from the last meeting.
thing. I got
No, they
that.
were passed out the last
Last
meeting,
meeting,
Okay.
from the last
I'm
meeting.
sorry.
so you wouldn't have had them on this one.
I
Well,
might have it.
I
you
have
want
it.
me to? Can we run out? Do you have one, Pam?
I'm trying to find it. She thinks she has one here now.
Here.
I thought I had it right here.
Next to this.
The last meeting, I thought we reviewed the one. I didn't think we had another one printed up and ready to vote on.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So I'm trying to-
I thought it was all just discussed.
Here's this one.
I know I don't have it.
And this is in October.
So you have, what we have is a copy
A copy.
of the one that was signed in 2020.
Yeah, that was, okay,
Yeah,
that's
that was
the
it.
one that
That's
was
one.
passed out. It's an old one.
Yeah, that was
It's
just,
not a new
yeah.
one.
that was discussed in the executive meeting.
They were thought we also,
Yeah, and,
Yeah, those were copies that I had brought down because
Okay.
of the meeting.
So I know, I guess it was from, we had to decide if, about retaining him and how much he requested back in this letter to us how much the pay was going to be. That's what it is. So we need to answer that. How much we were going to.
How much is it monthly now?
600.
600 and 250 for special
Special,
sessions.
yeah. It's the same as it.
Did we change Bob's compensation?
No, we didn't,
No, we
don't
did not.
Change the other one now.
because then we should be paying Bob more.
Yeah.
Hmm.
His, no, we didn't.
What,
It's the same.
I mean,
Bob
the
is the
ordinance
same.
is what it is, but for this new guy, it's just, his shouldn't change either unless you're making a motion to raise Bob's. I don't know.
No, we just approved his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he done and approved his is set for the year now.
I think that magistrate salary just, and it should stay as it is. We're just extending it, we're not. So I don't know.
For a year.
Yeah.
That's what was in the letter.
That's what usually, we usually do it for a year at a time,
I
don't we?
did. Well, it's tough.
Yeah, I saw the
Are we
email,
trying
I'm
to,
just
are they
saying
supposed
that,
to be?
It's whatever, we can do
No,
it
Bob
up to
does.
1 to 2
No,
years.
Bob does.
So-
No more
So
than
much more work.
So
than
should-
I
I'd say we
actually
put it
does.
for 1
So
year.
it's a big, huge difference.
Here, Bob.
just like we review Bob
Bob
every
don't
year.
have, like you said, I knew I couldn't have
Thank you.
What's that, that's what I'm looking for? Is that the? Can I see
Can you
that?
pass them down?
Oh, I'm
Ann?
sorry.
Thank
That's
you.
okay, thanks.
I guess if we do it tonight, maybe you say.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he wants to do it, he does it. If he doesn't, because I don't think council's gonna raise it before any of that.
They weren't.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
And it is what it is.
Okay.
Unless Dan wants to give me a raise.
Hey, Bob does
I'm just
do a
kidding.
lot. I just want to say that Bob has done a lot for this village without charging us, especially when it
Yeah.
comes to copies and
Always.
things.
Yeah.
So I mean,
You take a look at that
Couple
list.
hearings.
We're not being charged for what he does.
No, never have been.
that's kind of why I want to put that out there because he
I've always-
is definitely, and he donates $1,500 to our flowers.
And more.
Yeah.
There you go. And he
Put
got
that
us a
in. We'll put
grill.
that in
He
the
made us
record.
these shelves. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about that. But
But
anyway,
that's
yeah.
something that I guess the committee, financial. pick up
On
when
council,
they're
you have the new one in
Putting
front of you.
raises and stuff in place.
What's your
Got that.
pleasure?
Yeah, whenever.
We did that with this one, I was like, it's what's council's pleasure to this?
Yep.
Are we leaving it the same or do we want to increase it?
I think we leave it the same.
And for 1 year, is that what you're saying?
Don't we normally do it for 1 year?
And that's what we just did Bob's for, so that makes sense.
No,
Yeah.
Bob's is-
Yeah, it says here, January 1st through December 31st, 2022. So it's a year.
Yep. And down there in section 3, then you pay $250 for special court sessions. $250 normally. That's what
That's
the
what
last
it was in the
contract
last
said.
one, Ann, you're right. It's been 600 monthly, and then if there's special court sessions, it's 250 for
Per
a
court.
special session if they have like a DUI or something
Yeah.
like that,
Yep.
that has to be heard.
That's it.
All you can do is, if you want to adopt it, all you can do is he can accept it or not accept it.
Yep. I'd say we get it done then.
Yep.
Yeah, especially if something would happen.
So you're gonna
We can move on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can we fill in those blanks then?
yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So why don't you do that? Get to move it.
Oh, yeah, saying what I don't know. So.
Yeah, I know.
For special session.
Council, I'd like to nominate Alex Havlin for the magistrate. What's your pleasure?
I make a motion that we accept the mayor's nomination.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Ann Pillow. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
I've got an ordinance appointing Alex C. Havlin, magistrate of the Addyston Mayor's Court, and setting compensation.
So we're doing this one reading, because you didn't suspend.
Is he a C or an S?
We did,
I see.
we haven't made that motion yet, have we? To suspend the rules? We're waiting to put in money figures, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I need to know.
Okay.
It was-
Are you keeping the salary the same as the previous, the 600 a month, and then 250 for special courts?
That's what they said.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, Dan asked, that's why I spoke. up.
Well, I mean, I just want to be able to fill this in.
250 in the blank.
Okay.
Bob, is his middle initial S or C? On last year's ordinance, it's S. It's Alex.
You know what?
There's last year's wrong or this year?
No, I'll check and find out.
I just
Make sure
saw
it's
that,
right.
so I thought I'd mention
I'll
it.
make that.
Maybe he just keeps changing his middle name.
Well, Bob could always, after he could.
I'll find that out too.
Okay.
Yeah, it does say this.
I'll make a motion that the rules be suspended, said rules be read 3 times by title only and declared an emergency.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Ann Pillow. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay?
Jennifer,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yes.
Linda
Yay.
Martin,
Yes.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
First reading an ordinance appointing Alex Havlin, magistrate of the Aston Mayor's Court, and setting compensation. Second reading an ordinance appointing Alex Havlin, magistrate of the Aston Mayor's Court, and setting compensation. Third reading an ordinance appointing Alex Havlin, magistrate of the Aston Mayor's Court, and setting compensation.
I make a motion we adopt as read.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Ann Pillow. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay?
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
This will be number 29.
Be number 30.
30, I'm sorry. I looked right at 29 and said 29. I meant 30. Thank you, Ann.
You done with that?
Yep.
All right, we did have a finance meeting to discuss this budget and all the stuff that's going on with the office. And let's see, we did talk about raises. I know we usually forget to do this. But we have, finance is recommended to do like a 3% raise effective January the 1st. Or do you want me to list all the people? I could pass this out. I did ask Bob to bring something just in case. There we go, I'll just keep on.
Was I supposed to keep one of those?
Yeah,
Here's the stack, I didn't have
there's a
enough.
stack coming around.
There's another stack of it. Sure.
They're coming.
We're just killing the
It's
trees.
stapled, right?
Yeah, they are stapled, I believe.
It's a front and back, and no, it's not a front and back, it's two pages.
Okay.
Oh, I got more than one. So they one short.
As you can see, if they want me to read it, it's the village secretary, clerk
You
of
got one,
courts,
Dan?
I do.
sub-secretary, water board clerk, water board maintenance, police chief and acting police chief, whatever slash, whatever we're calling him. Part-time police officer, police lieutenant, sergeant, corporal. It's in, you know, we left it in there because it's on the book, so we just raised them up to, even though they're not being utilized at this moment. Maintenance supervisor, the maintenance worker, occasional or seasonal employees, monthly salaried employees will remain as they are. The street commissioner, and then the, we did talk about the street commissioner and water operator to include them, the 3%. Like I said, to go in effect on January the 1st. So we're not backtracking like we normally sometimes do.
Yeah.
So can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
When you say the police chief and the acting police chief at 26.75,
I was gonna ask about
but
that
then the
too.
lieutenant you got at 20, you haven't been paying this guy for
No, we
acting.
haven't,
chief.
he's not been, that was not
I'm
the
just, this is how
intention
it's written.
Yeah, I think it was just there just so I can keep my head straight.
in the
Okay.
minutes. So that
I'm
would
gonna
need
say,
to be
man.
corrected.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
There's a
back.
lot of back pay going on.
No, it should have been just the police chief from the minutes, and it was
Yeah.
just picked up,
Just going through the
because
policy
the
procedure.
lieutenant is in there.
Yeah, lieutenant's position is there.
So Bob, will you send me a corrected
I
copy?
will tonight.
Yeah, that one might have come around and bit y'all.
Well,
January
I was trying to list them out of the personnel thing,
Is that
and I thought I had them, because we have some in there that are obsolete.
The water operator, whose
It's-
function is that?
It's,
That's Eric Windhusen.
Eric? Okay.
yeah,
He's the state certifier,
Mm-hmm.
and normally we, yeah,
and the other man is just their water maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
and he's on.
This is water board maintenance, right?
Yeah, that's,
Okay. Do we talk to the water people about getting their input on that or not?
They've always been included in our ordinance, pay ordinance.
This is the same as everybody
Yeah.
else?
This, it might look
That's
a
an
little bit
overall.
different, but
Mhm.
it's basically our hourly employees and those two that receive a monthly, and it's not like any elected officials or anything like that.
Thank you.
so it's like, what's council's pleasure?
What was the percentage?
Yes,
3%.
3%.
Mhm.
Is it yes
Yeah.
to move it?
Well,
You had
yeah,
to make a motion.
yes. And I'll make a motion that the rules be suspended, said ordinance be read 3 times by title only and declared an emergency.
I'll second
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Pam Jackson. Any discussion?
Only to thank Pam and her huge committee for working on it.
For us actually passing it before January 1st.
Yeah,
That is
it.
amazing.
So we gotta do this before, so we don't have to
She
backtrack.
made us.
Yeah,
We was here for hours,
yeah.
3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times.
No discussion.
Is there any other discussion?
So we do think about the employees, it's just sometimes too late, a little late. Not too late, a little late.
Call for the vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
First reading an ordinance setting the compensation of certain village employees and declaring an emergency. Second reading an ordinance setting the compensation of certain village employees and declaring an emergency. Third reading an ordinance setting the compensation of certain village employees and declaring an emergency.
I'll make a motion to adopt as read.
Second.
Okay.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Dan Pillow. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Linda Martin,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
This will be 31. And there's no more lines on my sheet.
I don't think we have any more. The only other thing I have is that we did have a laws and contracts meeting. We're going over the policies and procedures. There are a few changes, updates, and things that mainly I know Ian commented about trying to rush it through. It's not a rush, it's just that we have things with the audit that has to be addressed, and I was hoping that going into a new year, we would be on the right page by making sure that our next audit is better than the last audit and previous audits, and if we have our proper procedures in place, that's definitely gonna help us. And as far as we should be doing, it's in our books that we should be doing, not auditing, I don't wanna use that word. Every 6-month probationary, we should be sitting down with our employees, which we're not doing that, and we have to confirm them, we're not doing that. There's so many things that we're not doing. We all have to sit down and read these manuals, and we just gotta do it. I mean, I know it takes time, it's like
That 3-month audit.
yeah. And so I was wanting to ask Bob to drop an ordinance. I did send it out to everybody. I'll get you a copy too. And Ann found something that needs to be addressed in there. One was like on the water, our water clerk, that the change in what we just approved for her, but about her work being replacing Aaron when she's off. It also needs to read that she's certified to do that, and that needs to get done. That's another thing. It's been months and months and months. I know that she has taken it and it didn't pass, but we need to offer that opportunity so she can.
I think the
Get it done.
opportunity needs to be offered, but I also think there should be a date set,
Yeah.
a deadline. And this has been going on for over a year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she's being paid for the position that we approved, and it should have been the other way around. Should have been getting the qualifications and then.
I certainly agree that was part of an agreement.
Right.
That all the parties didn't keep,
Right.
and getting compensated for it anyway, that we
Right.
just need that.
And then there's some issues too that hasn't been resolved yet with the water maintenance, which I don't know if everybody's aware of it, but when they come in and do the wells like on Saturday and Sunday, getting paid additional for that. So we just felt like it should be within the, as we talked about in committee, that it should be all paid within the 80 hours, 40 hours each week. It shouldn't be a 44-hour work week, ending up 88 and being paid additional overtime for the Saturday and the Sunday. I mean, that should have been in the job description. I know the water board sent us a job description or a recommendation to do it, but ultimately it's up to council to enact on these policies and procedures. But we have to also enforce them. And that's, we're lacking there, so that's another thing the auditors can get us for.
I think this one thing to offer is that the individual take whatever time it takes him to do that and take a day off early or some
Yeah.
hours off
But
early.
I still think that.
Come
that we
in
need-
later, leave early.
Yeah, but
Make
still,
it-
that has to be communicated with
Oh, yeah.
the supervisor,
Mhm.
because if something goes on, how's he gonna know? You know, how's he gonna know where that employee is off and
I
on? It
agree.
can't just
And
be.
Dustin
He
is
can't
doing
just say,
that.
hey,
Yeah.
decide, I feel like
Yeah,
today be
it's
the day
been
that I'm
like-
gonna
And
take
you
back
can't tell the
4
water
hours.
board, the water board is not in charge of his day-to-day stuff.
Mhm.
Our maintenance supervisor
And we
is.
just gave him 8 hours a week also to make it 40, you know, he was at 32 a
Yeah,
week. so it
they
should
made
be
him full-time.
No problem to do.
So has he
Saturday,
been
Sunday
leaving
work.
early to, like, say, still on, like, say, Fridays or something because of Saturday and
He
Sunday?
has been,
But he's
he-
coming in on, I saw him over here because I work Saturday and Sunday and he was over here both days.
But is he leaving or is what?
Yeah.
Is he leaving early Monday
I
through
was
Friday?
asking if
Oh,
he leaves early.
Usually
because
Fridays
if
he
he
does,
leaves,
but he
if
didn't
he
this
leaves
Friday
4
'cause him
hours
and Mikey were
early,
working over there.
then that covers the week.
Oh, yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it
that's
should
what
be.
I said.
Overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has to be worked out with, so Dustin knows. Because
If
he
he
is
works-
immediate.
yeah, if he works
Dustin is
half a
supposed to
day.
know that, yes.
Because ultimately, he checks the time card on that person and has to know where they're at and if he needs them.
He
Has he
hasn't
come
been,
around on that
He
yet?
No, that's not
hasn't been,
happened this
but,
week.
but he needs to be.
Yes.
See, another thing that we talked about, and you can comment on this too, is like, this policy procedure, once everybody looks at it thoroughly again, I really do want to ask Bob to bring an ordinance back for our first meeting, so we've got time to, I know it's holidays, but it's not a lot of changes, it's just changes that we really need.
That we got
But to-
decided on.
Yeah, to sit down with the employees and the supervisors, whatever, at the beginning of the year. I mean, it don't have to be everybody together because I know that's gonna be impossible. But just to go over things, if they have questions, you know, whether it be somebody from the laws and contracts or whatever, we are supposed to be that new title that we have.
Human
Human
resources.
resources.
Well, everybody has a
Yeah.
evaluation each year, right?
Well,
Is that
and that's-
basically-
That's what
It should
should
be.
be happening.
Gonna
Okay.
happen.
So that is all in there now, all that is there. And there's forms, some new forms, requests for leaves, that, how to, some valuations, they're basic, we can tweak them up, but we have to have something to start with.
They just gotta know about it.
And then everybody that we haven't confirmed for their 6 months, we need to do that. So we're on the up and up come January.
He's not due yet.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
he's,
don't know who, we did Andrew.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
else haven't we? It'd be in the police department
yeah,
area.
probably the police department, but if it's went
Because
beyond
it's like a revolving door.
but even if they went beyond it, if we've never done it, we have to do it as council.
Call-in pay.
Yeah,
That is.
that's, yeah,
Oh,
another
that's
thing
what-
too.
That's, what
The call-in is part of it, what you're talking
But
about.
the call-in is not the 4
No.
hours and that. The
That's-
call is if there's an emergency and they're called in, they get the, if it's only 15 minutes, they're guaranteed 2 hours. But if it goes over the
Right.
2 hours, they get the actual time.
So I think there's some misunderstanding there on the water side that we need to make sure they know, but technically he should have known this before he started. I don't know what the conversation he had with whom it was, but something's not right.
And then Dustin. Dustin needs to start seeing, my understanding is that the water guy clocks in over here,
Right,
not over there.
right, and that just started like.
So then the
you know,
time card
a
is
month ago.
collected, and then the president of the board's supposed to stop and sign it, and you haven't been seeing them.
Correct,
Only when you come up and I say, here's the time card.
correct.
Yeah, that's
If I
correct.
have it.
See, so we need to
But-
address
And he
that.
should be clocking in over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something else that has to be, needs to be addressed specifically to that person.
Yeah.
There's- Yeah, there's a lot of little things.
And
that's
it
going on.
has, I
And
guess,
with different
this
employees.
next round is gonna be a little bit different than what.
And that's the reason we need to call a meeting or say that on this day from 10 to 12 or whatever, we're gonna sit down with the various groups and go through the rules.
If we do that, I think the water board should be here.
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
definitely.
yes.
Yes,
they're
Because
part
therein
of it.
lies some of the problems.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they
Well,
contradict,
that was
like,
my
I tell their
question.
employee
Yes, that's why I said
no,
water
they
board
tell them
too.
to do
How
it
much
because they passed the
culpability does,
motion.
or how much does the water board have to say about the day-to-day operations of their department?
When they're not
It
here.
looks like we're
Yeah, it's all in
taking
there.
on a lot of
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
because-
think they pretty much have what he's supposed to do day to day, and from what I understand, there's a lot of text messaging from the board to
Lisa?
the secretary, to the maintenance guy.
Yeah.
And as we all know, the text messaging has got to stop. But the thing that if Dustin is supposed to supervise him, then that's the way it should be, and there should be no ifs, ands,
And I did
buts about
address
it.
that, by the way, at the last water board meeting.
And he had.
We both were there to address
Right,
that at the
correct.
last water board meeting.
And they
So it's
have,
not that we're not actively addressing that. We are.
just make sure you document everything, please, that because we have,
On tardies and
Nothing to
efforts,
go.
the beast falls
Anything.
back on you.
yeah, anybody that's not working on
Consequences.
time,
Yeah.
anybody leaving early, it's on, we depend on you to, we don't know, we're not here the day to day.
Right.
You know, we may occasionally see something, but if somebody says something on the street,
Wait till I'm called on.
yeah, it's rough.
Right,
I think that when we set up the mandatory meeting, then we can go over all those rules and regulations in everybody, and then it'll be a record that we've done that, and then you can act on it.
But he hasn't
So,
told me.
No, yeah, on that, but
I
we still
will.
need to have the laws
Yeah,
in
before
place,
he
the rules
leaves
in place,
tonight.
before we can do that.
I'll get
Yeah, because you can't expect someone to follow a rule that's
I
not
was really hoping to have that done by now.
in line for them to have.
Yeah, and they're confused on the rules we already have. They're making their own up. Even though they have a policy and procedure and it's there, council is the only one that can change any rules.
Okay.
I believe he's one.
No.
And you have the papers for them to sign it. It was gone over with them.
We make the laws.
Yeah, and they know what the laws are because they're gonna sign that paper.
And if there's something that their supervisor sees that needs to be addressed that's not there, they need to, approach us and we can look at that to try to change to help.
Yeah, because he's the one with the day-to-day side of it, so he sees the actions of it.
And we're not here.
just-
Because, I mean,
Basically, that's what it is with the water board. There's no supervision there from you.
I mean, yeah, I really hate the way he turned out, but
So, I will get that to you, so you can, Jennifer, I'm gonna call you Lisa.
And I will have you set up
Lisa's
with
upstairs.
the, she's already got one.
She's already got one, you don't need to
Yeah.
set anything up,
Yeah, she's
because of her
already
being
got
on
one.
planning
Oh,
commission.
yeah.
But,
You're already set.
Yep, I'm already
So
set.
you just got fired from planning commission.
Yeah, you basically,
What I gotta do?
yeah, you got
so
fired.
now we
from
have
planning.
no
Oh, I
planning
know, she told me, she
commission.
was like, well, you need to bring in your folder, or your binder, and I'm like, don't I need it? And she's like, no, and I'm like,
No, I wanted it back for the next
Okay.
person.
well, I mean, I
It's a-
thought
it's a
like, I
binder
just
with, like,
assumed
the
that that was just
zoning
another
rather
thing
than-
that I was taking on, I didn't realize that that meant that like, hey, you're out of it, here.
Yeah,
this
you're
is-
out of it once you're
So-
sitting there.
But, you know,
I was
you
like,
can
okay.
go to it, but you just really can't,
You can't do what you were doing.
you
Okay,
know.
So what I'd like to do is, have Bob draw an orders up, not for the first meeting, of course, because that's the swearing in. So the next one will be the, what is it, the third?
Are we
Not
gonna
far
have
from
one
it.
in
Oh, it is?
January on the, for the second meeting?
Are we gonna have-
We've got away from that for years because of, it usually falls on the holiday.
Yeah, but we'd have one just a few days later.
Because the 3rd and the 17th, and the 17th, yeah, that's the one that falls on Martin Luther
You
King.
could have
Yeah.
it maybe on the 10th.
So,
Just have one at the 1st and the 10th? Is that what-
well, we have one on the 24th. 24th is correct, it's that public hearing.
Oh, yeah.
okay,
I've got-
I need some dates here.
What,
We'll get
what
you
now?
dates. The public
Yeah,
hearing for
I'll fill
the,
you in on a lot of it.
Oh,
The gym thing.
gym.
yeah, I
gym
forgot
thing.
about that one.
So that's on the 24th.
Of January?
I mean, we could
Yeah.
have a meeting, and if you didn't want to do it directly on the 3rd, we could do the 10th.
How does everybody feel about that?
Doesn't matter to me.
I mean, if you, because if we have our first official meeting, well, semi-meeting,
We really
swearing
wouldn't do
in,
too
We
much
usually don't do no
business.
business. We usually do.
we don't do any business on that one.
So that's January
But then the
3rd.
3rd would have been our first meeting, but you said, I didn't know if you wanted a little more time in between.
Do we want it, or do we want to do it that quick, or do we want to wait till the 10th?
Because I mean, that's a long month. We have 4 Mondays, no, 5 Mondays.
5
that
Mondays in
month.
January.
Yeah,
So let's do the 10th.
instead of starting
24th
right
actually.
away. I'd,
Yeah.
you know, give everybody a week
So
after
the
that.
10th and the 24th.
The first is the,
Swearing in.
first meeting of the new year is the swearing in of the new officials
Yes,
that were elected.
11 a.m. That's our first official council
Saturday.
meeting of the year, yes.
Okay.
It's,
weird.
it
It's on a
doesn't
weird
matter
day.
what day January 1st falls on,
Ain't that the truth?
that is the first official meeting,
And that's 11 a.m.?
yes.
So I'm
And
gonna
it
work
doesn't
late.
last very long, usually.
Well, I guess I'll make a motion that we do it on the, we know the swearing in on the 1st, but the January 10th be our first meeting. And then
First
we'll
business
keep it our,
We'll keep it our first and third
At
Mondays
7
afterwards.
7 PM.
1st and 3rd?
yeah, same time.
Okay.
Yeah, 7. Okay.
Okay. We got a motion on the floor for the 10th at 7 p.m. We have a second.
Second.
Okay, motion by Pam, second by Jennifer Anderson for the meeting on the 10th. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Ann Pillow. Jennifer. It's been a while. Linda Martin.
Yay.
Pam Jackson. It won't be bad next time. Next time I'll have her in there.
January 10th and 24th.
Yeah. And then the 1st is at 11.
11 a.m.
Okay.
That's just a swearing-in ceremony, essentially.
Well, I just need to know what I can have to report to work.
So I've said that the laws and contract, the policy and procedure out there, everybody, but Jennifer, of course. So anybody have anything to add? Like I said, Ann already said some stuff. And then we'll make a, maybe we can get together before that, Ann, or whoever else is
Yeah.
on the committee. Guess we'll figure that out on the 1st, I don't know.
And if
And then
anybody
have,
wants it
bring the
printed,
ordinance.
I'm sorry.
if anybody wants this policy, the amended one printed,
We're still making maybe some changes.
well, just the changes maybe, because if we're gonna,
It's not.
yeah.
lengthy.
I just don't want anybody printing it on their home printer because
Oh,
it's too many pages.
Yeah, I wouldn't print that at home.
That's what she said in the thing, do not print this.
Yeah, it's
Well, I know, because you always say, I'll get Robin and print it. It's like, no, don't do that.
I don't tell her, she just does it, but that one thing was like 40 pages.
And that's
A
all I
lot of
had.
paperwork.
All right, thank you, Pam.
You're welcome. It's always
Council,
something.
any other business?
Mayor, just a quick question. Somebody said something about a hearing. I may have been discussed on our case with Officer Pate. Where are we on that?
That's what we were just discussing.
Oh, I'm sorry, I may have been out of the room.
Okay, what hearing?
See, I'll fill you in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's a lengthy one. Have you, so basically, we're still in the same position. Were we able to get the,
I have not heard back from Pat. Pat once just said to let them know. Sergeant Pennicam's back. The only one questionable still is our witness from the dog groomer. She has had complications from her kidney surgery. I'm hoping to hear back from her this coming week.
yeah, because remember, we canceled because of her going into the medical.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was back in October. That's been like 2 months.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a major
Depends on what
stuff.
kind of
Major
surgery I guess
stuff,
you're
yeah.
dealing with, you
been there,
know.
done that.
Complications can really
Especially
throw
if
you
it's
under
the
the water,
kidneys.
you never know.
But when they
So-
were on vacation one time.
I guess just, when's the last time that you heard from her? Maybe
Last
just,
week, I'm gonna try to make contact with her tomorrow again. I'm gonna
Okay.
drive up and see, hopefully she's back to work.
if so, maybe we can get a date together.
If she's not there, I'll leave a message with I'll leave my business card with my cell phone number on it and give it to the owner and have her get in contact with me and see what she can do,
Okay.
see when she can be here.
Yeah, I don't want to rush her if she's not physically able, obviously. So if you can get a hold of her, that'd be great. Appreciate that. Council, anything else?
I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
Motion by
wants to
Dan
go?
Pillow, second by Ann Pillow to adjourn. Call for the vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Anderson. Yay! Ann Pillow.
Yay.
Linda Martin.
Yay.
And Jackson.
Long night or-
Yeah. Who said that?